It is Midweek Fan Chat once again, and I'm here with another supporters group leader. It's the Newcastle United Digest. Let's go. Hello and welcome out to the Newcastle United Digest. My name is Adam Snyder, and this is another edition of the Midweek Fan Chat. And this episode, I'm going to be bringing you an interview with the leader of one of my favorite supporters groups, and not just because I am good friends with him and we trade beer a lot, but it's because I do have a lot of family in this area. So without further ado, let me introduce you to another former podcasting duo friend of mine, Mr. Tony Egizi. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Tony, before let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and how you became a Newcastle supporter.
Well, let's see. I'm originally from Springfield, Illinois. I moved to St. Louis in 2007. I don't know, been following the team. I don't know. I don't remember which year it was, but I feel like it was around 2000. I was in college, playing soccer at Millikan University. And known watching the games sporadically on Fox Sports World, maybe Santana at the time. I don't remember.
I think that was right at the time of right as like Fox Sports World kind of transitioned into Fox Soccer Channel a little bit.
Yeah, it's a long time ago at this point, it feels like. Um, and then yeah, so I've been living in St. Louis since 2007. I don't know. I always ask you what year we started the group because we did ours at the same time. So I don't remember. I don't know what year that was. It feels like so many years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
3 more kids later, I don't remember.
Understandable. It's all been a blur for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot going on for sure.
Yeah, I believe you. We started I started Toon Army Chicago in 2014. I think it was right around then when I think you decided to get things going down in St. Louis as well.
I feel like they were right, a couple months apart, right around the same time.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. So, where are you guys? You guys are still meeting at the Amsterdam, right?
Yeah, and every other team and every other supporting group in St. Louis.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of options in St. Louis, are there?
Unfortunately, there's not. I've looked in the off season to try to get some space somewhere else. Those who've ever been to St. Louis and if they've been to Amsterdam know that it is small.
Yeah,
they have a back beer garden, if you will. It's small. It's hard to. When we first formed the group, we were at a different bar in downtown St. Louis. That bar subsequently closed a few years back around COVID, and we were the only ones in there with a small Manchester United fan group at the time, and we had TVs to ourselves every Saturday and Sunday. It was great. I don't dislike Amsterdam, but there's just a lot going on, and maybe it's my adult ADHD. I don't know. And maybe it's because I'm in my 40s and not in my early 30s anymore. It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, I understand. It's been you've got a lot of groups there, then especially groups that are pretty sizable. You've got I think the bigger ones there.
It's like the big four. I always say it's Manchester United and it's Liverpool and Tottenham. Those are the big three. Okay. Arsenal has a decent size as well, but those really are the three that kind of take most of the space.
Yeah, they were the only ones that seemed to have escaped and found their own place to watch games. As Arsenal.
Well, I thought that, but I don't know that that's actually accurate.
Okay.
We played a mid-morning game, same time as them, and like all the Arsenal supporters were at Amsterdam. So
odd. Okay. That's odd.
I'd love to find another place to spread out. Now we could probably do it in the later games, like 11:30, even the 1:30 starts if we ever get those here Central Time. So, but it seems like a lot of work for one game.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I hear you. How many people do you normally have come out for matches at the Amsterdam?
It's hard to say because when I'm not there, I don't really get a good count. I would say there's at least 10 most games from when I'm going at least. Unfortunately, I can't go every weekend with all the orphanage I run here in my house with all my kids.
Orphanage, babysitting service.
So I try to get out 4 or 5 times a year. I try to organize stuff weekly. I would say this particular group, we were really strong early on, and I do think Mike Ashley killed it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Some of our
Have you seen any resurgence since the takeover in 2021?
Yeah, what the weekends I went opening weekend, first couple weekends I went out, went down there, and it was pretty good turnout. That's why I say there's probably 8 to 10, I would imagine, most games, but um, and the core group that we kind of got it started with, we just Mike Ashley killed it. So
Yeah,
it's been tough
understandable.
trying to get it back to where it was before, but that's hard because I can't go every week and never. Sometimes trying to find someone to help sort of go and be that person there is hard to because it doesn't seem like there's anyone consistent.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in. I can relate with with me and having 2 kids and suddenly realizing I can't get to the city very often. So
No, yeah,
and I've been in a very fortunate position where I was able to find somebody that could do as fantastic a job as Bev has with Toon Army Chicago. So
yep,
I my hats out to you because I can definitely see where that could be an issue for you. So if anybody's watching, you live in St. Louis and you want to be, kind of an ambassador for the group, please reach out to us here at the channel or, reach out to Tony. We'll put Toon Army St. Louis's socials in the description down below so you can get that conversation started as well.
yeah, definitely reach out, especially on Facebook. Much more of a presence there. We have a private group in St. Louis where I just try to keep it to local people, so we can do better organization. So that seemed to have worked in the past. So
Yeah,
reach
that
out,
definitely helps.
get you in there. Use the cool new website for Toon Army USA.
Yes,
Great.
head to toonamusa.com and check out the map, and you'll be able to see where the closest Newcastle United supporters group pub is, so you can join fellow Newcastle supporters on match day and have a pint with them and enjoy morning with them.
Yeah, I mean, and Amsterdam is a quintessential soccer bar, and it's no getting around it. It's just tight.
It's tight, and unfortunately, there's no food options there.
Yeah, and the food doesn't start till later in the day too, so it's never helpful. But
Not
you can bring food in, so it's
okay. That helps.
most people don't at 6:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, but you can, I guess. 7-Eleven's across the street.
What can you do?
Roller dogs, that's what you do.
Roller dogs, taquitos.
You got it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember. You've been over for one game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was Forest away during the championship season. The very eventful, one of the most eventful games in recent memory.
That was when we had two players sent off, right?
Yeah, there's like we saved 2 penalties, I feel like.
Yes.
Shelby got sent off for sure. I don't know if someone else. I'd have to go back and look at the match
Yeah,
information, but it was eventful. And I remember I was like in the second or third row behind the goal, so I found myself on. I think at the time probably maybe Sky.
it's in Sky, and then here in the U.S., I think it was on BN Sports.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember, but I remember lots of pictures of me sitting behind the goal. So it was a good experience. Nottingham is an interesting city.
I've heard that, and I remember some of the interesting stories that you had of losing the group that you were with.
Yeah, that was fun.
With that game too.
That was fun. It was a fun night.
Have you been to any of the friendlies that Newcastle's played in the U.S. at all?
I did Kansas City. Oh God,
2011, I think.
2011 and 2000. 2011. I did that. I had the VIP experience at that place in Kansas that I won't talk about. And at the time that place was new, so it was really nice. And got to meet all the players at the time. I have on socials my avatar is me with Tiote.
That's awesome.
From that, and I was like several pounds lighter at that point too. So this little double chin thing wasn't showing. So that's the only one I've done. I know I try to make it to the Milwaukee one, but that's just kids again. But I haven't been back to Nice since that one. But um, they need to come to the Midwest again.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's the case, and that I'm hoping that after the positive feedback that the club has given us after the fan fest here in Chicago, that we've kind of justified, yes, you need to come to the Midwest, and hopefully
Yeah,
it's
there's
whether it's Chicago, St. Louis, Minnesota, wherever it is, it's going to be it has
yeah,
to be something that's worthwhile.
totally. And they need to realize that we will drive for hours at a time to go places. I know that's not necessarily what they do in England, but we drive everywhere. I drove to see Pearl Jam in Chicago at the beginning of September. So, um, you know, we travel for stuff.
Yeah, we're willing to travel, and I mean, the distance between Chicago and St. Louis is about the same, roughly the same distance between London and Newcastle.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't
And
realize that.
yeah, it's about the same distance. And I think when you kind of
Is the
talk to
train
them,
also 6 hours in length?
it's about four. Now that Amtrak has upgraded the tracks between Chicago and St. Louis, it's come down to about 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'll have to ask
Which
Brawley. Brawley took the train up for the
the Fan Fest,
fan fest.
yeah, the if you get one of those faster trains, it'll get you here within, I think, 4 hours.
Yeah, and for those listening, we have two West Ham supporters in our Newcastle group because we were at the bar together when we started the group, and Brawley has subsequently started a group for West Ham and also does a national podcast with them too.
Yeah, he's probably a good dude.
They're good people, so they hang out in our group and they actually do a lot of the discussion with us.
Yeah, they're they're definitely fun people to talk with.
Yeah, for sure.
What have been some of the top matches that you've seen at the Amsterdam with the group?
Recently was the Sunderland game last year. What game? What weren't you in town last year? Were you there for that game?
I don't think I was.
I feel like anyway, because there was a couple Sunderland supporters, a father and a son, but they're also Bayern Munich supporters, and they always go up there on the weekends and they're Bayern Munich stuff. And I'm like, that's like you can't even put on your Sunderland stuff on a normal week and go up there and watch both teams.
You have to go incognito.
Yeah, I think the biggest game on the loss side of it was when we played Liverpool last year. It was
Oh,
awful. We had a really good turnout that game. We had like 15, 16 people there, and there are some Liverpool fans that got a little obnoxious in our face because, of course, everyone's at the same bar.
of course.
So,
And Liverpool fans are obnoxious.
yeah, it's kind of when I started looking for other places because that's the only that downside is when you have a bunch of people and there's a lot of Liverpool supporters. So there's lots of televisions, but they're like taking up all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a little taunting us, like not nicely or bantering, but like yeah, it was awful. But that was a good turnout for the group, but that was also unfortunately a memorable game for the wrong reasons, but also memorable because it was a crazy game, honestly.
Yeah. I remember having one of those matches like that in Chicago with Chelsea supporters where the leader of the group kept taunting one of our guys for some reason, and then he kind of started giving it back, like asking when the Patriots play, and asking him like what other like big what other bandwagon teams he supports, like, so when did the Patriots play, and he finally got enough of us. He stepped up to the guy and said, do you want to take it outside? And
Wow.
every single person in black and white stood up, and you had a lot of not small guys, including two traveling Geordies that bought a car on the West Coast, were road tripping across the United States, and
Wow.
would just so happen to be in Chicago for the game, and they were standing by the door, and I don't think they were going to let him out.
That would have been very smart of them.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Um,
I don't know. I'm not real good at remembering those real memorable. It always seems like it's not because we win. For many times, every time I went there, we lost. So it's hard to. I had a horrible streak going for a long time. Um, yeah, but probably last year the Sunderland game. We had
okay.
a decent turnout for a 6:30 in the morning game. And there's probably 10 of us there for that game.
That's good for a 6:30 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah, those are tough.
Yeah, they are. So let's go ahead and wrap this up really quick. Where can we find you on social media?
It's Toon Army St. Louis on Facebook. Oh, you would ask me my Instagram off. No, not Instagram, but what is it? Twitter? What are we calling it? Twix?
Twix.
Twix is Toon Army St. Louis as well.
Okay.
Facebook's easier. Get a hold of me if you have questions. The chat function's much easier than on Twitter. I don't know that I always see those.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not as active on that as I should be. But we have multiple people who moderate the group, can help on the Facebook side of things.
Awesome. Well, Tony, it's been a pleasure having you on again. I really appreciate you doing it. And hopefully I'll be down sometime soon where I can meet you at the dam and watch a game.
Yeah. Or my house.
Or your house, whichever.
My house.
Yeah. You have a better booze selection at your house.
100%. 100%.